Welcome and thank you for taking the time out to watch these videos. The focus of this video is to look at the main mental blocks that we may have when it comes to starting an online business. In fact, starting any business. So let's dive right in. Thousands of people all around the world are starting micro businesses, even small businesses, and sustaining a lifestyle and earning enough money to do the things that they love. In fact, they are working on things that they already love. And they're doing it online, and the world is their audience, and people are buying from all these different countries. Because we'll look at case studies who are people selling from Lahore, where I am from, people selling from Dubai, people starting and selling from Saudi Arabia, people starting and selling from the United States, different cities in the States and different cities in all around the world basically. And there is an opportunity out there and it is waiting for you to take it. And I want to help you, and these videos are designed to help you grasp that opportunity, God willing. You do not need an MBA to start a liberating business like this. You do not need, a large upfront capital to start a liberating freedom business like this, or what they usually call the lifestyle business. If you have formal business education, we may need to unlearn a few things to get you going quickly, because think about it, an MBA, as the name implies, is business administration. You are trained to administer a business, an existing business. Starting a business is a completely different ballgame, and a lot of people confuse that, and that's why when they try to start a business and they fail eventually, they say, it's not for us, it's not for me, it's something that's beyond me, I'm not built like that, I have a different language, I'm from a different country, I didn't have the capital, I didn't have the right people, and all those excuses start looking like reasons. And that's not right, because you wouldn't treat a 30-year-old the way you would treat a 2-year-old, would you? We won't. You wouldn't be wearing even like the clothes you wear in summers, you wouldn't be wearing them in winters. We are very sensitive to these changes, yet when it comes to starting a business, we do the same, we apply the same methodology. So it's not about your education, it is not about the capital investment that you need. In fact, we're going to look how you can start a whole full-fledged business that can potentially earn you thousands of dollars per month in less than $1,000 per year. You may be wondering, how did I end up doing these kind of things sitting here in Lahore, Pakistan? I'll give you a quick primer on how I started doing all of this. As I've briefly mentioned before, that I was interested in wrapping a business around my hobby. I've been self-employed my entire life, by God's grace, and I remember I started my first business in 1999. That business was selling website design to different retail shops here in Lahore, where I first had to explain to them what a website is. Of course, now that kind of problems don't exist. Everyone knows what a website is, everyone has a Facebook account, and everyone is onto the internet, so it seems. But they're missing out on the real opportunity of how they can sell online, how they can reach a bigger audience with their message, with their product, with their service, with their ideas. But I'm getting ahead of myself. In 1999, I started doing websites, and my whole objective was to be self-employed. That's what I wanted. That's the lifestyle that I so dearly wanted. And by God's grace, I've been able to hack together different little things, different little projects. I started teaching how to convert ideas and hobbies into a business, and especially an online business. And when I was doing that, I realized that there are so many common questions that people have, and there is no one answer to it. So I said, okay, maybe I can do this. I can make an online set of videos where people can learn. So I've been involved in all these small little enterprises that have earned me money over the years, and by God's grace, by God's ultimate grace, it has been very good, and there is nothing else that I would rather be doing than this. And that is what I want people to experience. I've never ever, please note, I've never ever pretended even to be an expert at this. I'm not. I like to think of myself as a glorified signboard at best. My job is just to invite you. onto this path that I'm on. And I personally feel that this is the right way to go about it. Where the kind of work that you're doing, you enjoy it. You're earning enough money to do other things that matter to you. You're looking at a holistic picture of yourself, where you are focusing on your health, focusing on your relationships, focusing on your creative side, on your physical side, all these aspects that make us human. You have time for those things. This modern day life, one of the biggest problems is that it just sucks the time out of everything, and so the path that I'm on, I believe wholeheartedly that this is something that it's for everyone. And because on a path, what happens? Someone's going fast, someone's going slow. Someone's on the fast lane, someone's on the slow lane. I'm like probably parked on the side somewhere, but you probably will be going much faster or slower. I don't know. I really don't know. But the point is, it's for everyone. My objective with these videos and the 5-week online training that's coming up, God willing, my objective with that is to equip you with the tools that you need. It's if you join my email list, one of the questions that I ask, in fact the only question I ask to anyone who joins my email list, is tell me what you're struggling with. And the number one thing by far is, I know I want to start a business. I don't know which one. And I think that question is a very valid question, but that is a symptom. That is a symptom of a bigger question. That bigger question is, why would someone buy from me? Who am I to sell something to someone? I don't know anything. I have nothing to sell. What to sell? What to start? That is a very valid concern. It is such a valid concern that I need a whiteboard to explain it to you. So let's head over to the studios and see this problem and how to solve this. Okay, now we need to see how anyone can sell and how we can remove that mental barrier that we have, that we are not good enough to sell, or we don't know anything. What are we going to sell? What business should we start? What we're going to do, we are going to look at the sales path, as I call it. Sales path is a very simple concept, and here's how it is. It's this guy here. He is your customer. He is not that kind of happy, but because he's here and he wants to go here. Now there's this line. Imagine this, the path that he will take to go here. This over here is his destination. This is what he wants. This guy is here and he wants to go here. This is what he wants. And one of the first mistakes we make is that we consider this to be a product. This is not a product. A person does not want a product or a service. What he wants is a solution to his problem. This guy has a problem here, and this path is that transformation that is going to happen when he buys the product so that he gets a solution. This is basically a riff on that old example that no one buys a 4-inch drill bit. What they buy really is a 4-inch hole. As someone who wants to come up with products that people want, that's a very good place to start, where you look at different problems that people have and you come up with solutions, right? So that's like the broad picture of how we're going to approach this. We're going to approach this not as creating products, as creating solutions. It can be a product, it can be a service, it can be a consulting call, it can be anything. But we're going to look at that. We're going to look in detail in our video number 2, where we look at about at least, I think, 8 to 9 different methods of spreading our product and getting our message out, and different ways you can earn so much money, inshallah. But before we go there, we need to understand this important concept and remove that mental block whenever it occurs. Now, having said that, this guy is here. He wants to have this. He wants to have this solution. So what is this path? He needs to walk on this path and get to here. For example, if you are selling photography lessons, now what happens is that this guy has a problem. That problem is that this guy has now a DSLR. This is my rendition of a DSLR. Peace, okay? Just chill. This guy, the problem is that he has a DSLR and he doesn't know how to operate it. So the operation of a DSLR is a problem. The problem is that someone has a camera and they do not know how to operate it fully. the solution to that very specific problem is also a very specific solution. The solution is that now the person should know how to operate a camera. There are 10 different ways of providing the same solution. 10 different ways of providing the same solution would mean that you're coming up with different products. And that is the difference that we must understand. The difference between, first of all, what the person wants. It's not a product, it's a solution, number one. And number two, that the solution is only one, but you can come up with different products to furnish the same solution depending on the situation, the market, the accessibility, the distribution, etc., etc. This guy wants to go here, but there are different pit stops. There are different milestones in the way, right? So this is point A, this is point B, this is point C, and some guys are here. A bit of a smile here. Some guys are here, right? And now they can see the destination. And some guys are here. Now this guy wants to he can see it, he's happy. Okay. And some guys have done what all of these guys want to do. Now this guy, now the important part, and for this I need a different marker. All right. The important part here to pay attention to is that this guy is the expert for all of these guys. Whenever this guy speaks, they will listen because he is where they want to be, right? But this guy, when he speaks, Mr. A, Mr. B, and this guy will listen. Because for him, all of these guys are experts. What we need to do is just figure out the path that we're on and just look back and guide the people who are behind us to come quicker. Show them the solutions that show them the problems that we faced walking the same path that they are walking, and then show them how we overcame those problems. That is the general concept of how we can go about doing this. Now, having said that, this is not the end of it all. What the distinguishing factor here is that this guy needs to be at point A. If you are trying to sell to him how to go from here all the way here, missing these steps, because we are assuming that these steps are critical to know before you reach here. You can't reach here unless these milestones are walked through, right? Considering this is a path. So if someone is trying to sell, that's what we end up doing, is we promise the whole world, whereas the person really needs to go from here to point A. This is what you call niche. This is what you call narrowing down your approach. And this guy needs to know how to go from here to this point. If someone like this person comes up with a product that shows people how to go from B to C, and you see that and you come up with something that goes from A to B, and the strategies that will be on B to C will not apply on A to B, for example. So this is why people get mixed up. You don't need to do what a person who's way ahead of you or way behind you is doing, right? You need to do what you need to do at that point on the path. Let me tell you what I told my friend. I was trying to convince him that he can sell photography tutorials online, and that he's good at taking portraits, so he can sell how to use a DSLR lessons. Anyone who has bought and invested in a DSLR and now has that bad feeling that he can't use it will be willing to pay for something like that. Pay 5,000 rupees, 6,000 rupees. And I was telling him that, and my friend was like, but no one would buy that because there's so much valuable information out there. Why would anyone buy that? No one would buy that. And the reason he said that is because I was explaining to him the process. I was explaining to him that how you will go about helping the other person go from here to here or A to B. I was trying to explain to him the process because we were talking about the process. But when it comes to selling, We never ever sell the process. That is one of the biggest mistakes I've been making my entire life, is that I've been trying to sell the process to different people. What we need to do is sell the outcome, what people want. The outcome is the transformation. It's the before and after. Before using the product or service, after using the product and service. And you sell what? You do not sell the product. You do not talk about the features of the product. You talk about what's going to happen once you have used the product, right? So this is what I told my friend. I told him that, okay, you are a very good photographer. I can see that, which he is. I'm not lying. And you like to take portraits, which he does, because I can see it on his Facebook wall. He's my friend. He's on my Facebook. And I said, you know, you have invested more than $2,000 on your photography equipment, which he did, which I know. What if someone, a professional photographer, someone who knows more than you, what if that person teaches you 3 tactics on how to take professional portraits? Once you get those lessons, your portraits you will be able to tell yourself that, okay, this was semi-pro and this is now pro. These are my photographs and now they look professional. You know, now they look much better than what I was doing before. You will be able to say those lines and live up to them, because your portraits and your photographs will have that difference. And then I told him that it will be $40, $45 or 4,000 rupees for an online video that will be delivered to his inbox, and he will go through those videos and learn those 3 steps. So he was like, yeah, why not? I will take it. It's what, $40? I have already invested $2,000. And he was telling me that, yeah, he would take it. Who is this guy? Tell me who he is. And then that's when he started smiling. He said, yeah, okay, now I see what you mean. Because now I sold him the outcome, not the process. Now I told him that his portraits will be much better than they were before. And that's what he wanted. Not that he will come up with a course and he will make an outline, and then he will, then he will see those people who are behind him, and then he will reach out to them, and then they will bring him forward. That's all. That's the process. Keep these 2 things in mind, that it's a path. Whatever you're doing, whatever career you have, whatever knowledge you have right now, it's a path. And there are people who are ahead of you on that path, and there are people who are behind you on that path. For people who are behind you, you're an expert, right? And people who are in front of you are your experts, are experts for you. But you can turn back, and there's a very, very high chance that there is something you can teach them. So find that path, figure out that path. And I know maybe you are probably nodding and you're thinking in your head that, okay, this is something I can teach other people. For example, if you're working a job and you are, say, in the PR department or the sales department or in any department, and there are certain set of information, certain tools, certain ways of doing and going about it, that only people who are on that path, only people who are in that field know. And you can now teach that because you have been doing it for some time now. That humility that comes from knowing simply that there is a path left to go. There is a long distance that I have to go. I'm not talking about that. What I'm only saying is that whatever your problem is, I have gone through it. I have done that, man. And this is something that you can do and come forward. And truth be told, this is what I'm doing right now. That if you want to start a business and base it around your hobby and your interests, by God's ultimate grace, I have done it myself. I've helped others do it as well. And I've walked that path. I have crossed those difficult little terrains that I have come across. There's a lot. I can see like mountains ahead in front of me, right? As Nelson Mandela would say in his beautiful biography, God bless his soul, that after climbing the mountains, I realized that there are more mountains to climb. I'm sure I messed up the whole quote. But the point is that I'm standing at a place and I look back and there are people who are struggling, who want to do what I have done and so many others have done. And I have repeated repeatedly that I am in no way an expert. All I'm trying to do is to help you walk that path quicker, faster, better, because I had learned, I had stumbled and I have learned. And that is what this mindset teaches you, the mindset of the path, that you're walking a path and you're helping others. You're looking back, helping others, and you're charging a fair amount for your services, for your products, which people are paying happily. Because what's happening here? If someone is at A and I can teach him how to go to B and then to C and then to what he wants, because I'm here, then this person will, I will thank the person who has taught me that, because he has like pinpointed my problem. He's not giving a generic solution. The solution is very, very specific to my problem, because the solution is based on the path that I'm walking. Now, what I want to know now is what's bubbling in your head. What are you thinking that you can do now, knowing what you already know now? That what solutions can you come up with? The people in your path, people who are already on your path but behind you, what problems are they facing? And that's not the only way, by the way. You can also ask people who are in front of you and pass out the solutions to people who are behind you. You know, there are different ways of doing this, but the idea is basically the same, that you help people who are walking the path that you're on, and you help them close the gap. You come up with products and services that help people on that path, and before you know it, you are being considered an expert. You are being considered someone who knows the field. It is my belief that the internet presents one of the biggest opportunities we can have. It pays no heed to your geography. It pays no heed to your limiting beliefs. It is there. It is transparent for the most part. The opportunity is just begging for you to come and start taking action. But having said that, there are very, very valid objections that have come up over the years that have been trying to teach people how to convert their hobbies into an online business. These objections are real. These objections can make the difference between your success and, I don't like the word failure, or your success in something else. But not this lifestyle, not this path. We don't want that. So let me try to address those objections and see if we are able to move past them. Let's head over to objection number 1. This has to be the most common objection. You're not technical, you say. Well, okay. Can you start a computer? Can you turn on a computer? Can you log into the computer and start a web browser? Can you do that? Can you open up a word processor and start typing? Because if you can run a word processor, then you can upload pretty much anything right now on your website. It may be Facebook, obviously, may it be YouTube, may it be SoundCloud for your audio files, may it be your own main website. You're covered. But I don't want to sugarcoat this. I don't want to tell you that if you can do, just do that. If just this portion, then your technical side is covered. No. There is another side to this, for you to start doing business online, start living that lifestyle, inshallah. But that, again, is not that technical, so to speak. What is it? It is that you have to communicate and use email management software. That may sound dangerous, that may sound confusing to you. When it comes to the internet, your number one priority is building your email list, and you have to be able to manage that. We're going to get into more details in the next video, in the video number 2, but I'm giving you an overview of that, how technical this will get. And you have to be able to manage that database of email addresses. That word database probably sounds dangerous, probably sounds confusing, but you manage your database of friends with Facebook. If you can do that, then you can manage those email addresses. It's that simple. And then you have to build a community. You have to nurture a community. There are actually, because community building is such an old concept beyond the internet, and now it has come on the internet. So actually there are 5 steps that you can take to build a community. We're going to go through that as well, but again, very, very intuitive. The other thing that you have to do is manage your money, manage your e-commerce, manage your online store, whatever you're selling. You have to, put that document online, and then you have to receive the payments for it. That's a good problem to have, for example, but that is something you have to do from a technical perspective. That is not something to be scared of. 5 to 7, I like to say that the 8th minute won't come and you will be, inshallah, able to figure out how to do this. And then, of course, there is your personal development, your own growth, how you're going to improve your trainings, the things that you want to learn, so to further grow your online enterprise, your online empire, your online kingdom. Now, these 4 things plus this is your, pretty much this covers your whole gamut of technical prowess that you would need. Objection number 2. I'm at level 0. Now what that means is that here's how it works out. There are different stages, different milestones that come between where the person is and where he wants to go, and you can be on any of those milestones and you can turn back and provide solution to that person. Now this applies to everyone who is on the path. But if you're just getting on the path, if you are here, you're at level 0 as I call it, then there is no one to turn back to. The level 0 guy has no experience. The experienced guys, the method applies to them, but there is another way. If you want to learn and earn at the same time, the new hobby, the new interest, the new career that you've started, there's another way, and that's called research. Wow, well, that's groundbreaking. but that's how it is. What that means is that experience, of course, matters. It helps if you're experienced, but that's not the only way to do it. You can go out and research, and on this path, if you are at level 0, you can go out and research what people at level A are doing, and then document that, interview them, and come back and teach other people who are at level 0 how to get at level A. And for example, a lot of blogs and a lot of websites online are based around this concept that, hey, come join me, and along the way they make products and they sell to the people who are their readership at the time, and this whole circle, virtuous circle, continues. So if you're at level 0, you can focus on the research side of your business. Now, objection number 3. This won't work for me. Oh, if you think that this won't work for you, then this won't work for you. A lot of people just are not cut out for this. A lot of people, and the reason they're not cut out for this is because of this. There's always something that will not make it work for me. I used to think like that. No amount of information or education or inspiration would have helped me go past this. So if you feel that, then seriously, if you are stuck up on this, then I have to tell you, I don't want to sugarcoat this, then perhaps these 3 videos and even the 5-week online course are probably not for you. And it's okay. But there's one thing I can give you that can help you move away from this problem. Because this is a deeper problem. This is not a simple objection to the videos and how to apply them in your life. This is the bigger problem. And I have gone through this so I can help you, inshallah, if you apply this in your life. And this is understanding this circle. Understanding this circle will help you move away from this state of mind. It's not easy. Again, all of this is not easy. I've never pretended that this is going to be easy and it's just you earning money in your sleep and all that. It's simple, given that it's so new and the opportunity is just endless by God's ultimate grace. But you have to work, right? And this especially it's a deeper problem. It's a deeper psychological problem that I have felt as well. So we have to understand this either virtuous or vicious circle. What happens is that you have confidence that you can do something, and that confidence gives you potential, and that potential is what makes you take action, and that action either produces a good result or a bad result, what we call feedback, and that feedback is what either increases your confidence or further depletes it. What happens is that if you lack confidence, if you think, okay, and you say, well, I can't do this, but everyone is doing this, so let me give it a shot, and then you go ahead and try to do it. But in between, there's this gap of potential, because your low confidence automatically gave you low potential. And that low potential made you put out a very half-baked action. And that half-baked action, what will it give you? A half-baked result. Not that, the feedback will be far from impressive. And that bad feedback is going to further deplete your confidence. So it becomes a vicious cycle, and it just spirals out of control, and then you just bog down and you do nothing. Or it can work the other way around. If you feel that you can do this, and then that potential suddenly increases, and then you take action, and the feedback that comes invariably, not at all times, but invariably is better than what other people would have expected, what you would have expected, because you had the potential coming from your confidence. And then the feedback feeds your confidence, and that increases. So that confidence, I'm using the word confidence, you can use the word belief, that inner belief, that self-esteem, that self-belief, that self-confidence increases, right? So this circle, you should pay attention to this. If you think that this won't work for me, then you're right, this won't work for you. Then it's better that you don't, try to do these things. You first need to work on this. The reason I wanted to share this with you is because this is a fixable problem and it's workable, dude. That's what I want to tell you, is that you can figure this out and you can be at a place where you say, okay, I got this. And then you give it a shot, give it a fair amount of energy. And at the other side, whatever result comes, we will take it from there. But to give it really your best shot, you need to work on your confidence. And here's one very interesting point in this circle. Of all these 4 things, there's only one thing that you have in your control. You can't control the action directly, because for that you need to change the potential. And you can't control the feedback, because of course the feedback has a lot to do with the action that has been put in. The only thing you can change, you can control, is confidence. So I will recommend that you do not do anything till you fix this, till you come and attack the problem rather than do it half-heartedly. Moving on to objection number 4. I don't know where to begin. Now, this is the common problem of overwhelm. And this I don't know where to begin objection it's a difficult objection to solve, because here's the thing. The only advice that I have, if you have this objection, I don't know where to begin, the overwhelm, is to declutter. Because what's happening is that there's so much information coming in, there's so many sources of seemingly viable information, actionable information, that you don't know which one to cut off. So you just pick one and just go at it. And these are the tools, basically, that you get the tools that are required for the job. And when you get the tools, you get out of the building. You need to declutter, you need to simplify, you need to focus. And the way to do that is to focus first on getting the tools and then just doing it, getting out of the building. The metaphor I use is that of playing football. I love playing football, the one that you play with your feet, that football. What are you going to do when someone comes to you and says, I want to learn how to play football? You get a ball and you get out on the field and try to kick the damn thing. That is what you do. You don't go from university to university, lecture to lecture. You don't go from training to training, always getting all this beautiful information on how to curve the ball, how to kick the ball, how to save the ball, how to control it with your chest, how to bring it onto your thighs, how to bring it onto your feet and all that jazz, and how to dribble it like Messi and curl it like Beckham and all that. You don't. You just get the ball and you get out of the building and get onto the field and start playing. Instead of being a spectator, you decide that you want to be the player, and that is how you become the player. That mental barrier is somewhat removed, if not completely removed. In the second video, we will see the steps that you need to take to implement a proper system online. You're not earning money in your sleep or anything like that. This is the real deal, man. This is life-changing stuff here, by God's grace. This helps, this works. And, I don't know. I hope you're taking it as seriously as I think you should be taking it. And so yeah, let's check out, let's wait for the second video. It should be out, inshallah, in a few days, and I will email you regarding that. Just leave a comment below and let me know what you think, what's bubbling in your head, any more questions, any objections that you think towards the idea, anything, just let me know in the comments. And of course, like it, share it, tweet it. Everyone likes a like. Goodbye, God bless, and just adventure.